Doma Sports Talk Worldwide with some news from the world of boxing. So y'all know what time it is. You ain't in a rush to get concussed. Now, let's talk some Canelo Alvarez versus Jermall Charlo, right? That's what's going down right now, seeing as though in lieu of the fact that Canelo tried to fight your boy Badu Jack, a cruiserweight, wanted to bring him down to 180 pounds, which 190 is the lowest, then give him a rehydration clause. That ain't popping off. He said he wanted to try to fight a rematch Dimitri Bivol, right? After that loss, resounding loss at 175 pounds. And I told you that Canelo wasn't going to fight Bivol at 168 pounds, where Canelo is comfortable. And I told you the reason why back then is because, if he loses that, he loses all his belts at 168 pounds, and he ain't getting them back because of the 168 pounds of the monsters there. So he was going to force Bivol to fight at 175 pounds. But I also told you that Dimitri Bivol, his disposition is different. It's like Usyk. He ain't going for that. He's just like, no, you ain't going to have no excuse. I'll come down to your weight and beat you up there, or we ain't having no fight. And that's what Dimitri Bivol did. So, Canelo ain't going to fight in his weight division, 168 pounds, because that's David Morrell and David Benavidez and Demetrius Andrade and them boys. So he ain't doing that, right? I told you, watch out for Edgar Berlanga coming through. That could possibly still happen. But out there right now is Jermall Charlo and Eddie Hearn, the promoter of Canelo and Anthony Joshua and them. Eddie Hearn, well, the one that's pretty talkative. Eddie Hearn says, Jermall Charlo is the front runner. And but he said yesterday that Jermall Charlo would have a little chance, seeing as though he's came off a 2-year, actually kind of like a retirement. But he also had, he had some mental health issues. He was going through other private stuff, right? That is none of nobody's damn business, but it was private. So he hasn't been really thinking about boxing at all. So he hasn't been in the mix. And his last fight against Montiel wasn't that great in the first place. So that sounds like the kind of people that Canelo would want to fight. There's nobody who Canelo fights that busts through the door, right? It's always somebody who backs in the door. They back it in the saloon door, and then all of a sudden he turns around and there's people ready to fight. But he wasn't. It ain't the person that's coming through the saloon door, kicking the door down, ready to fight. It's never like that, right? Think about it. Just think about most of Canelo's people that he fights. It's never somebody, whoa, man, he just came off of knocking 2 dudes out, and he's, Canelo gonna have a problem with that. Jermall Charlo been sitting on the sidelines, right? So he's perfect for Canelo for those 2 years out. It's still Jermall Charlo, though. So because of that, he's going to at least have an interesting fight that people are going to probably want to see, especially Canelo fans, because they're going to feel like he's going to have that BTBG going on. Y'all know what that is. And it's a good chance that Canelo could win this fight. I think this is going to be a 65-35 fight as it is right now. But here's the deal. And remember I told you. I did a video yesterday or the day before telling you that people are fed up. People have been fed up the longest, fans. But boxers are kind of fed up with the shenanigans of Canelo. Like, why would you, want to do that with Bado Jack when you got people in your division? Why did you do that with Demetrius Andrade and Liam Smith back at 154? Why you didn't fight Demetrius Andrade at 160 pounds for undisputed? Why you didn't fight Charlo back then anyway when he was your mandatory and you got a franchise title, right? Why would you request a franchise title? Why would you request to fight Abner Yildirim? Why would you request to go to cruiserweight and fight Makabu? There's a lot of requests from him, and there's people right there begging him to fight in his division with more lucrative fights and better fighters, right? So it's like it's just taking a long time for mainstream media because they're gonna force the Canelo issue until they feel like some casual fans are catching on. And it takes casual fans forever. So that's why we're still there. But right now, we're getting to the point where it's changing. So remember I told you this. Jermall Charlo should be getting an interim fight real quick somewhere. I'm talking about like tomorrow. But he ain't. But I'm going to tell you what he going to get. Jermall Charlo about to get the best sparring in his life right now. Watch what I tell you. Some of his opponents, like Demetrius Andrade, going to show up and say, hey, I'll fight you orthodox a little bit. Let's get you ready for Canelo. People going to be showing up, all these fighters that, are not even, some are with him and some are against him. They're going to make sure that he's not rusty against Canelo. Watch what I tell you. I just got a feeling of that because I just can feel the pulse of the boxing nation. Right? Even though I ain't around, ain't been in a boxing gym and who knows how long, especially, okay, in Europe, okay. But in stateside, no. Right? And I'm going to tell you, because it's being grown. That's enough at sometimes. Boxers are sick of it. They know the reason why he would pick Jermall Charlo, and they're going to make sure that Jermall Charlo's ready. Remember, I told you, he will get some of the best sparring and people calling him up to get him ready for Canelo by September, because it's not really fair for him to be fighting him right now, but it's a fight that when you get that call, you're going to have to take regardless of how fit you are, right? And it's going to be some people showing up. Now, a lot of people are in fights and stuff, right? That, got other fights going on, but people going to make time for Jermall Charlo to get him ready and get that rust off so he can give Canelo a good fight. Mark my words. Doma Sports Talk Worldwide. And I'm up out of here, y'all.